Hey there folks, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. We've got something from Sierra Nevada tonight, and this is their limited edition 40th anniversary Hoppy Anniversary Ale. Let's see, 6% ABV, 65 IBUs, limited edition Hoppy Anniversary Ale. Yeah, so they were established back in 1980. Oh, haha, it's on the back of the label. Hop-forward beers weren't popular when we started brewing in 1980, but we loved them, and we knew that if we were going to open a brewery, we'd better make something distinctive. It's been 40 years since then, and we're still brewing what we love. This beer showcases the bold flavors and aromas of a classic West Coast IPA, intense pine and citrus with a deep gold color and slight caramel sweetness. Here's to following your passion into the next 40 years. Okay, so it sounds like instead of going crazy on their 40th anniversary, they just went with a really solid, well put together IPA, which is great. And they're right. In the beginning, when craft beer really started to take off, people didn't like IPAs. People didn't know what to do with a hoppy beer, with a beer that actually had different flavors to it. And now you can't shake you can't throw a rock, you can't shake a stick. I don't know. There's so many IPAs out there that it's ridiculous. They really caught on, and I know that we've all seen the meme that IPAs are basically just beers for basic white bitches, meaning men. And there's some truth to that. There is some. I'm going to cop to it. A lot of guys out there are like, oh, give me an IPA, give me an IPA, give me an IPA. And this market has been so saturated by guys who think that the size of their balls are measured by the size of the IBUs they can tolerate. It's not true. In some regards, things like Stone Brewing's Ruin 10 and Dogfish Head's Who Loud, the hoppiest or the most bitter beer ever produced. Tons of IBUs. Both of them, tons of IBUs. In some cases, it's been like a dick measuring contest to see who can get the most IBUs into their beer. And for some beers that need to meet the demand for IPAs has been taking a back seat to, making good, well-balanced, or delicious IPAs. Let's just take a beer and hop it up to make an IPA to meet the demand. Because there's so many fucking doofuses out there who just think IPA means good. There's some bad IPAs out there, folks. There's some really good ones. But there's some bad ones too. And then there's just your average IPA, which is just a hoppy beer. So, I guess in a roundabout way, what I'm really saying here is that back in the beginning of craft beer, yeah, IPAs did not have their place. But I think a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon without truly appreciating all the complexity and flavor that's available in a good IPA, or in a broader sense, because we've got pale ales, we've got APAs, we've got IPLs, we've got all kinds of hoppy beers out there. There's just a bunch of fucking bros who think that a hoppy beer is good without realizing there's so many layers of complexity to them. And if you can't tell me why specifically you like that IPA other than, oh, it's an IPA, bro, it's really hoppy, man, then you really don't understand the entire category of beers in the first place. Anyway, I don't know what I'm really trying to say there, except that there's some truth on both sides of this argument. There's some truth to the meme. And I hate it for being right. But as I hope to show you, there's way more to a good IPA than just being hoppy and having a bunch of college dickheads liking it. So, let's start with the color of this one. First off, that's a very, very effervescent beer. Look at all those bubbles coming up through. It's got a slightly caramel color to it up here where the beer's thicker, but mostly a nice yellow. It's fairly hazy, which I'm guessing is based on the hop oils in there because I'm not seeing a lot of particulates, so it's a bit of an oily, hazy beer. And that's interesting. Because after all the talk about hoppiness and IPAs and all that, I've got a 65 IBU beer here, but I'm not getting a lot of hoppiness in the aroma. It's actually kind of neutral. And I'm almost getting like a tea, like an iced tea aroma off of it. A crisp, fresh air, and then iced tea aroma. So after all that talk I had about IPAs, hoppiness, etc., and complexity, I'm actually getting a very neutral aroma off of a beer that should be more complex. This may be what they were going for, though. So don't take that as a negative. But yeah, I'm mostly getting like this crisp, fresh air aroma off of it, which I'm okay with. It's fresh smelling beer. It's got a really good hop blend. I'm not sure what they used in it, but there's a few like fainter words on the label, so I'm wondering if maybe they dropped some hints in there, but I'm not seeing it. Because what I'm getting is I'm getting a rotating selection of hop flavors off of that. Now it's got a nice medium mouthfeel, and I'm getting an overall graininess, a slight hint of roastiness, maybe some sweetness in the finish. But up front, it's rotating, like I said. Even the medium mouthfeel, though, it's going down really smooth and easy. I'm going to take another sip, sorry. Yeah. Up front, I'm getting a nice blend of earthy, citrusy, piney, grassy, even some dank notes in there. I mean, it fades to an overall hoppy bitterness in the finish, but before it gets there, I'm getting this rotating selection of different hop esters on the tongue. So I don't know what kind of blend they've used or how they put this together, but pardon. It is a rich, complex, and diverse selection of hops in there. The citrus is a little downplayed, which I'm not used to, because I usually key into piney and citrusy hop notes. But I'm getting mostly earthy, grassy, and slightly dank, with some pine, hints of citrus, there are the floral notes on the back end. As it rests on my palate, the floral notes are kind of keying up after the fact and rising to the forefront. It's really good. It's a very complex beer that evolves as you taste it and as it settles. And this is exactly the opposite of the point of the meme. And the meme that I mentioned earlier, where, IPAs are just pumpkin spice lattes for basic white dudes. I'm like, no, this is an IPA, but it is not just a simple IPA that any basic white dude can appreciate. It's a very complex, very flavorful IPA with a lot of character to it. I'm on the fence here. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the full 5 out of 5. I was going to pull it back to a 4, maybe a 4.5, maybe a 4, based on the fact that I've had beers like this before. But then I realized, you know what? I've always done a full 5 out of 5 for a perfectly well-balanced beer. Pardon. That has everything I would want from it. So I have to do the same for this beer and give it the full 5 out of 5, because it is, whatever, it's a 40th anniversary beer, whatever. Pardon. But this has a very perfectly balanced. I think I'm about to experience some hiccups here. So I'm going to try and perfectly balanced hop profile that just gives me everything I would expect for different hop esters. So it's getting that 5 out of 5 because it deserves it. Not any particular element that's unique or different, but just the fact that every different element of this beer is blending together perfectly and making it a great, perfectly balanced beer. Not much in terms of malt character. I mean, I am getting a hint of sweetness there, but overall it's the hop profile that's getting my attention and blowing me away, so going with that. I mean, obviously easy to drink, it's almost gone. But that's just my opinion on this beer. I want you to hit me up down below in the comments or the email link there. Let me know what you have to say about Sierra Nevada's 40 limited edition Hoppy Anniversary 40 beer. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Till next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.